we seriously need to talk about the book that has basically taken over every office on the planet, surrounded by idiots. I have to admit, at first, I was totally vibing with the idea. The thought that you could just look at your boss or colleagues and put them into a color-coded box feels like a superpower, shortcut or a hack for professional life. But before you go reorganizing your entire life based on a color chart, there's a massive bombshell to drop. In 2018, the author, Thomas Erikson, was named Fraudster of the Year by the Swedish Skeptics Association. You might wonder, Fraudster of the Year? Is that a real award? It certainly is, and it came after a deep dive into his credentials. While Erikson styles himself as a behavioral scientist, investigators found zero academic records for him in Swedish university registers. He has no psychology degree and no formal training in behavioral science. In reality, he is a sales trainer. He took an incredibly complex field, stripped out all the nuance, and sold it back to managers as a quick fix. This is why the Swedish skeptics slammed the book as pseudoscientific nonsense and criticized publishers for failing to fact-check a single claim. The reason this book sells so well is the shortcut it provides. Instead of dealing with the actual complexities of human nature, it allows people to say, "Oh, he's a red. I'll just be direct," or "She's a blue. I'd better send her a spreadsheet." The premise is simple. Reds are dominant and bossy. Yellows are social butterflies. Greens are chill and hate conflict. And blues are analytical perfectionists. It feels like you finally found the instruction manual for people. However, the origin of this system, the DISC model, is even weirder. It's based on a 1928 book by William Moulton Marston. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Marston is the man who created Wonder Woman. His 1928 theory wasn't based on data or clinical trials. It was pure speculation about something he called psychonic energy moving through the nerves. This sounds more like a comic book plot than management science. Furthermore, Marston didn't even create the personality assessment himself. That was developed much later by people who realized they could cash in on his ideas. In the scientific community today, the gold standard is the Big Five model, which actually predicts behavior. In contrast, the DISC model has incredibly low validity. This means if you take a DISC test today and take it again in a few months, you'll often get a completely different color. You could be a fiery red today and a calm green next week just because of your mood. This is known as the Barnum effect, the same trick horoscopes use. The descriptions are so vague and general that anyone reading them thinks, "Wow, that's so me," simply because they're designed to fit everyone. Labeling people this way isn't just unscientific. It's potentially dangerous because it gives people an excuse for bad behavior. Someone might say, "I'm a red, so I'm allowed to be rude," and interrupt you deal with it. Or, "I'm a green, so I don't have to speak up in meetings." This lazy approach stops us from actually engaging with people as individuals. At best, this book might help someone with very low emotional intelligence realize that others think differently, but as a tool for actual psychological insight, it is worthless. The final verdict? Surrounded by idiots might be a fun party trick, but it should never be used as a management strategy or a basis for hiring. It leaves us with a scary question. If major corporations and millions of people can be fooled by a sales guy with a color wheel and psychonic energy, what other management sciences are we using every day that are actually just total make-believe?